we be as clear as possible? MAGA stupid. I don't mean they are a little stupid. I mean, these people are really absolutely positively stupid. Donald Trump ran on, I'm going to jack up tariffs. We're going to make so much money from the tariffs. And these idiots believe the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief, the con man, who also filed for bankruptcy multiple times. See, they held him up as this amazing economic genius. Oh, he's a businessman. Oh, man, what's wrong with y'all? We're going to do so much better from him. Now, all of a sudden, we've ignited a global trade war. The stock market has collapsed. People are saying it's going to be a recession. JP Morgan raised its odds of a U.S. recession to 60%, up from 40%. Other banks have similarly adjusted their economic forecasts downward. We literally are witnessing an economic catastrophe. But, hashtag, we tried to tell you. Today's morning trading in Europe began with a sharp decline. German DAX fell by more than 6.5%. The Brits, 5%. The French, 6%. These losses are a continuation of the wave of horror, he called it Liberation Day, as a result of the tariffs. Asian markets have already demonstrated a sea of red. Japanese Nikkei at the peak was down almost 9%. And Hang Seng in Hong Kong fell by more than 13%. South Korea and Taiwan also in a deep red zone. Chinese investors are warning on a terrible Monday. And remember, he said on Wednesday, I'm going to jack up Chinese tariffs even more. The folks at Fox News are having to own up to, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Things are going bad.
You are introducing companion legislation.
Investors have seen in their lifetime when this crash is done, but you don't want to try to be a hero and pick the exact bottom. So if you're positioned correctly, you could be nibbling today.
I prefer to call it a collapse rather than a crash. That's a very emotive word.
All right, folks. Now that was one Fox show. We ain't done yet. Here's Maria Bartiromo finally admitting might be a recession.
What Senator Cantwell.
We will see some products actually be raised in price because companies will pass on the cost of tariffs to consumers. I would expect that. That's why you have some people saying that we could see a recession. We'll see a growth slowdown. This morning, Nancy Lazar, who I follow very closely, and I think she's terrific, from Piper Sandler, she says if the tariffs stay in place for at least the next 6 months, even if only 50% of the price shocks where we're seeing products go higher in price show through the economy, U.S. real GDP is on track to decline about 1% in the second quarter and in the third quarter, with unemployment rising.
Really, I thought this was supposed to be the golden age. What happened? Nebraska Congressman Don Bacon, even he's like, yo, Congress, we got to handle our business.
I know you are introducing companion legislation to what Senator Cantwell just laid out for us. But as I understand it, in the House, Republican leaders have already restricted the ability to rein in changes to the Mexico, Canada, and China tariffs. They tucked language into the continuing resolution. Does that get in your way when you are trying to now claw back some congressional control of tariffs?
Well, first of all, good morning, Margaret. Thanks for having me on. And I enjoyed listening to Senator Cantwell. I support the legislation that Senator Grassley, Senator Cantwell, we have a total of 7 Republicans in the Senate. And I have some beginning support on the House side, which we'll unveil tomorrow. It will be harder to pass this in the House, no doubt. I think if we get 60 votes in the Senate, they'll put pressure on the House to look at this. And if we continue to see the stock market go a certain direction, or if we see inflation or unemployment shift in a bad way, I think then this bill becomes a very viable bill. So it will not pass tomorrow or maybe in the next couple of weeks, but this will be in the queue that we can use. And it's time that Congress restores its authorities here. And the Constitution is clear. The House and the Senate, Congress has the power of tariffs and taxes. And we gave some of that power to the executive branch. And I think in hindsight, that was a mistake.
He's saying that's a mistake. Well, guess what? Lil Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, he doesn't think so. Y'all want to see an idiot who's in a cult? Listen to this.
We have to give the president space. His strategy is playing out. It's been less than a week, so I think he's owed that.
His strategy, I love this. His strategy is playing out. The economy is tanking. And he's like, but things are just going swimmingly well. Really? That's interesting. Congressman, Democrat leaders, Hakeem Jeffries said this.
Mr. Leader, good afternoon. Thank you. Jamison Greer, the new trade representative, will testify before the Senate and House committees the next couple of days. What would be your question to Greer about these tariffs?
The Trump tariffs, which are a tax on the American people, are so reckless, so unstrategic, so lacking in any sophistication that the only conclusion that one can draw is that Donald Trump and Republicans are intentionally tanking the economy. Is it because, as Donald Trump has indicated, that during tough economic times, the rich get richer? And it's a buying opportunity? Those are Trump's words. Can you confirm?
But what's your question to?
These people literally are idiots. And, he's executing his plan. I don't, what is he actually executing? I don't understand. Does anybody know what this fool is doing? And what was cracking up to me is that they literally spout lies with no backup whatsoever. Here is the liar-in-chief, Donald Trump, sitting in the Oval Office, lying about the European Union impact the United States. Again, what y'all about to hear is 53 seconds of utter, complete bullshit.
Mr. President, you said it may
The EU has said that they have offered zero for zero tariffs on cars and industrial goods. Is that not enough?
Well, the EU, no, it's not. The EU has been very tough over the years. I always say it was formed to really do damage to the United States in trade. That's the reason it was formed. It was formed with all of the countries from Europe, I guess most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And they formed together to create a little bit of a monopoly situation, to create a unified force against the United States for trade. So they have NATO, which is largely the same countries, and they took advantage of us dollar-wise and militarily until I got there. You know, I was able to get $600 billion from NATO.
Yeah, so first, the European Union was not created to penalize the United States. That's a lie. Then the idiot said they have NATO. We're in NATO. We created NATO. How about you read a book? How about you actually study something? But no, we can't do that. Then you're gonna love this one here. So Trump gets asked, you guys slapped some tariffs on some islands that are uninhabited, where penguins actually exist. But there was one country that was missing from the tariffs. Putin's Russia. This is what the Russian agent masquerading as the commander-in-chief actually said to that. Listen.
A little bit about your potential meeting with Vladimir Putin. Do you still plan to meet with him? Could that happen in Saudi Arabia? And maybe you could elaborate as well a little bit on not providing tariffs on Russia, sir.
So the reason we're not talking about tariffs with Russia is because we're not doing business essentially with Russia because they're in a war. And I'm not happy about what's going on with the bombing, because they're bombing like crazy right now. They're bombing. I don't know what's happening there. That's not a good situation. So we're meeting with Russia. We're meeting with Ukraine. And we're getting sort of close. But I'm not happy with all the bombing that's going on the last week or so.
I'm confused. So we have slapped significant tariffs on our allies, but not Russia. Does somebody want to explain to me why not Russia? Does anybody want to explain, what that problem is? Then you always have got to count on these really stupid people. Do you know who's one of these really stupid people? Meghan McCain. Now let's be real clear. The only reason we're even talking about Meghan McCain is because of her father. Her father, 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 her father. That's it. That's all. She is the poster child for Nepo babies. That's what she is. She's a Nepo baby. She's only gotten her jobs because of her father. We only know about her because of her father. That's how she got her media jobs, because of her father. So, Fox News, MSNBC, The View, we could just go down the line, y'all. All these people hired Meghan McCain, not because she's bright, not because she's smart, because she's the daughter of Senator John McCain. So you can always count on just sheer stupidity from Meghan McCain. Now, when I was at CNN, Meghan McCain said she was a fan of mine. She's since gotten upset because I've criticized her because she's blocked me on Twitter. Okay. But when you say dumb shit, I just don't have the capacity to ignore dumb shit from Nepo babies who then criticize other people for using their name to get things. So if you want to understand the sheer stupidity of MAGA, I believe Meghan McCain says it all. Really two people, Meghan McCain and Bill Ackman, the billionaire. So at 7:26 p.m. on March 4th, 2025, Meghan Nepo Baby McCain posted this on Twitter. Inject every single one of these policy proposals directly into my veins. In my veins. That is Meghan McCain saying everything that Donald Trump is proposing, inject into my veins. I'm not going to take it orally. I don't want a suppository. Put it right into my veins. That's what Meghan McCain said. At 7 a.m. on April 7th, 2025, Meghan Nepo Baby McCain posted this. I'm not pretending to be a financial expert. No shit. But there are so many hypocritical talking heads on TV saying they don't care about losing money or being in financial pain for a while. Most of you are married to finance bros, come from rich families. Meghan, you come from a rich family or have huge media contracts. Meghan, that's you. You have a cushion if shit goes south. One of my best friends buys her groceries for her family based on what coupons each store has. I assure you, a possible recession or huge rise in prices everywhere will be a different experience from her family than you. I don't want people who have already suffered so much to suffer anymore. But hey, that's just me. America is the land of plenty. And this is normally a thing, this is normally a thing the left does, asking Americans to suffer. I may be the emperor's new clothes here, but this needs to be said. That was Meghan McCain. What did Meghan say? 24, 30 days earlier? Inject every single one of these policy proposals directly into my veins. That was Meghan McCain. The brilliant analyst, Meghan McCain. So she's now crying because her friend buys these groceries, and it's rough. Bill Ackman, the billionaire, decided to attack the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, complaining, what the hell is he talking about with these tariffs? Now you have this idiot. If you haven't noticed by now, I speak the truth regardless of the consequences to me personally or what other people think. Then he says, I have no anger toward Dems, just disappointment. I don't think this was foreseeable. I assumed economic rationality would be paramount. My bad. He said, y'all, I didn't see this coming. Kamala did.
We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because there was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had it, I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation.
Y'all see Kamala like, is he really saying this bullshit? And does he actually think we are stupid enough to not hear what he's saying? Go to iPad.
Are all paying a price for the policies which have resulted in the Trump trade tax. We are paying more for washing machines and shampoos. We are paying more in terms of our farmers having to eat the cost of having soybeans that they have been growing rotting in bins. We are paying more in terms of auto workers losing their jobs. It has not been smart and has not been in the best interest of the productivity and the workers of our country.
Do y'all know when she said that? That was May 31st, 2019. She said that the first time this idiot was in the Oval Office. Yeah, she said that then. So this is not when she was running. She said that in 2019. So if you're Bill Ackman, how did you not see it? Because the idiot did it last time. We had to cough up $25 billion to farmers because of this dumbass's tariff policy. Okay, maybe you wanted something more recent of Vice President Kamala Harris warning America, don't elect this dumbass because the tariff was going to jack us up. Watch.
Let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? What he ended up doing is, under Donald Trump's presidency, he ended up selling American chips to China to help them improve and modernize their military, basically sold us out, when a policy about China should be in making sure the United States of America wins the competition for the 21st century, which means focusing on the details of what that requires, focusing on relationships with our allies, focusing on investing in American-based technology so that we win the race on AI, on quantum computing, focusing on what we need to do to support America's workforce so that we don't end up having on the short end of the stick in terms of workers' rights. But what Donald Trump did, let's talk about this, with COVID, is he actually thanked President Xi for what he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi, exclamation point, when we know that Xi was responsible for lacking and not giving us transparency about the origin.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.